What's up, everybody? I'm coming to you today, not on a dreadlock tutorial or a makeover or anything like that. I just want to talk about something a little serious. I find serious. In the sidebar over there, I hope I'm pointing in the right direction. You can click on my favorites and you can look at women in America being married. I took a look at this video and I wouldn't say it's alarming, but it was quite shocking in the statistics that show African American or black educated women that have master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, PhDs. They're single, they're past 30, most of them are, and they're not married. They said it's about 1 million, well, a little over 1 million women that are not married. And some people, they kind of place the blame on the woman. Her expectations are too high, or she's looking for too much and not willing to offer that. Now, my opinion is, I know when I was in my early 20s, when I met my husband, I was in my early 20s, and all of his friends at the time were single. It had to be a good 10 of them at least. It was probably more than that. All of them, pretty decent, good looking. They didn't it wasn't no domestic abuse going on that I know of. They all had pretty good attitudes. They had jobs, they had cars, and half of them had their own apartment. I mean, when you're in your early 20s, what do you expect, especially when you're getting out of college? And I'm talking early 20s, like 21, 22 years old. And I had a couple of single friends at the time, and I'm like, you guys, I was trying to play matchmaker. I'm like, these are really good dudes. They all came from two-parent homes. Majority of them did. They didn't use heavy drugs and drink a lot. They didn't verbally or physically abuse anybody that I know of, that I've ever seen. And I'm a pretty good judge of character, and I was around them a lot. Nobody was like interested. It was like, oh, he doesn't look a certain way, or they don't make enough money for me, or they don't drive this kind of car, or they don't live in this neighborhood. And I'm like, dude, what do you expect a 21-year-old or a 22-year-old to have at this time? And I just felt that, I don't want to say that their standards were too high, but it's like, man, you gotta like meet a person halfway. My thing is, with I base a relationship off of, it's like a 50-50 thing to a certain extent. And in this time and age, it's probably a 80-20 thing. Most men now, I mean, that I see, they can't get jobs. And this is like for real. I have family, guys in my family. I know they've been looking hard for a job and they qualified, but for some apparent reason, that's just not happening right now. I mean, you look around, you know who the workforce is dominated by when it comes to males. And no, it's not Caucasian males either. You guys know. Just look around. And if you don't know, tomorrow, when you're out, just pay attention and look around, and you'll see where all the jobs are. And really, it's no matter what state you're in, but especially in California. I can talk about here because I know, but I've even been, out the state, and it's the same thing. But to get back to my story, excuse me, my friends, they didn't want to have anything to do with, I mean, I have one friend, they did try to work out something. I don't know what happened exactly, but that was basically it. So now all of these guys, they were single pretty much until about 30. They didn't settle down, have babies. And then the topper is they had no kids. Now, who do you know? You don't meet too many guys that don't have kids by the time they're like 22, 23 years old. None of these guys had kids. They were all pretty much single. Single to mingle. You know what I mean? But now, majority of them, I'll say 80%, they're all married, happily married, and they have families. And I just feel like they missed out. So, I said all of this to say The women in the video, I don't know them personally. I only can speak about women that I know. And most women that I know that are still unmarried with no kids, not all, but some, because there are some that are good, and I'm not going to put nobody on blast here, but they have issues. It's like, like Steve Harvey said, how do you figure that you're going to meet somebody and you want 100%, but you're not giving 100%? You know, women, they have these outrageous, listen, I know because I know a lot of women, and they come with these outrageous demands that they want. But then what if a dude had a list like that? Like, you got to look this way, you can't be this weight, you can't you need to drive this kind of car, and you need to, I mean, act like this and think like that. I mean, what if they came with a list of demands like that? How would that make you feel? Especially if you giving this guy this list of demands, he's looking like, oh my God, how am I going to compare to this? I'm about to run away from here because this ain't going to work. My advice is, sometimes the person that you need, they're standing right in front of you. So what if he's too short? Or so what if he's a little on the chubby side? So what if, his hair is a little gray? So what if he has no hair at all, or his mustache is a little too thick? My criteria, this was my criteria when I was, I don't even want to say looking, because that was the thing. I wasn't looking. I think that's why I'm in the position that I'm in now, because I wasn't really looking. It just sort of happened. And I've been with my husband for, goodness, now a really long time, over 15 years. So, that goes to show you. But anyway, I just wanted somebody who had nice straight teeth, who treated his mother with respect, and wore nice shoes. Everything else, I just felt it was workable. Because if they don't have good teeth, I mean, that's like bad. And if they wearing rundown shoes, unless they're out exercising or at work, a construction job or something like that, I think that says a lot about a guy. And, and how he treats his mother is basically how he's going to treat you, how he treats his mom if he has sisters, how he treats them, his aunt. That's all I wanted, somebody family oriented, and that's what I got. He didn't have to make a whole lot of money, and he didn't have to drive this kind of car or live in this kind of house. I mean, we pretty much built our life together. We built our life around each other. And then with marriage, it's a compromise. I mean, if you can't be in a relationship, how do you expect to be married? It's not all peachy king. It's really not. It's not that, oh my God, I saw him from across the room and there's my prince, and then you're running in slow motion and you run up to him and you hug him and you kiss him and you guys live happily ever after like those princess fairy tales. That's why I was so not into that when I was a kid, all that Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It was always somebody rescuing the woman. And I'm not saying that women want to be rescued, so please don't get me wrong, but I just made this video because I want you guys' opinions on this subject. I want guys to respond to this, and I also want women to respond to this, especially women who are single in America or anywhere else for that matter. Actually, this is a worldwide channel. So if there's anybody watching me over in Africa, Germany, Japan, China, Spain, Jamaica, wherever you are, just send me a response. Is it like this there? And it doesn't matter what race you are, but I know in African community, African American community, they did say it's like, goodness, so many women. I think 20 women to one man or something like that. So even if every single black man was to get married, there would still be 19 single black women or something like that. I could be wrong. I think I'm quoting that right. So just holler at me. Tell me your opinions about this situation, okay? And remember, this is my channel, and it's just my opinion. I'm not, setting nothing in stone. This is just what I believe, okay? So, with all of that being said, you guys have a good night. And I will see you another time. All right? Peace and love and lots of blessings. Bye now.